welcome to another episode of Mick and the Fat Man, where we are talking artists, albums, and everything music. Well, g'day everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Mick and the Fat Man, Series 4, episode number 15, folks. That's right, lucky 15. G'day, Mick. Happy rock and roll to you, sir, and how are you travelling?
Mate, I am just going fantastic and feeling great and looking forward to this. Can you believe that Series 4 means we've been doing this nonsense for 4 years?
I know.
And people are listening to us? It's
The other
sad.
thing is that most podcasts are lucky to go past episode number 10.
Indeed.
I don't know how many we've done, but a few.
Yeah, I think we're approaching 90.
There you go.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Well, what's amazing is that we actually come up with different ideas to do things.
Look, I think we're up to the point where we just start repeating ourselves.
Well, that's why not?
We can pretend we're politicians.
Yeah, well, that's right. In fact, that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
We'll just keep doing the same episodes. From this point forward, we're going to go back to episode 1 and start again.
So, folks, if you like any of our episodes, any of them, just let us know which ones you like best, and we'll do it again.
We'll do it again,
Yeah.
but different.
Well, slightly different. Yeah, we'll laugh at different points and have different clips, since you're even more of a YouTube queen now than you were before.
I've become a total utter nutter. An utter nutter.
Utter nutter.
Utter
It's
nutter in the
fantastic,
YouTube
yeah.
world. You know, one of the things was I used to actually read occasionally, not that often, but, you know, I used to read a book every now and again, and I haven't read anything for quite a while. And one of the things I realised was that I can't actually see. So I went and got new glasses just recently, and it's a revelation.
I thought you looked different.
I got to a point. So I suddenly went, the guy, you know, you go and they hold up the thing and say, what can you read? And I went, the third line, I think. You know, like I'm three from the bottom. I can't read the fucking last 3 lines. Oh, dear, this is a problem.
Well, I can see your eyes a lot more clearly now.
Yeah, well, because I can see perfectly clear. I can see clearly now too.
Yeah.
The rain is gone.
Well, the rain's gone. Yeah.
So, Mick, I can see that magnificent Globite school bag. Well, it's not a Globite school bag. I keep saying that. It's a Globite travel bag.
Oh, mate, it's way past school.
It is.
It's long graduated, this bag.
It's beautiful pink and deluxe designer interior.
Yep.
If you can bring it over and just, if you wouldn't mind, just open it up.
And look, yeah. Quick, the ones at the back. Yeah, got them? Yeah, I'll lift this lid. Can you get the 2 inside? Because they've got 2 inside now. Just
Hold on.
that clicker again.
Just 2 seconds. I'll just
get those ones.
Yep. Okay, there we go. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Gee, it's secure, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
So secure.
Yeah. And Border Force will just arrest you for having so many locks on your bag. It's just fantastic. So you get a free meal.
Yeah. Because the thing with them, none of them are TSA certified, so you know they can't get into them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's just a great bag. It's just a great bag of fruit.
So the info for our show is secure as.
Because when you bring it up here on the back of the bike, it's precarious to say the least. And I'm thinking, I hope it doesn't fall off. But if it does, doesn't matter. It's secure. We won't see another Mick and the Fat Man podcast sprout up using all our information.
And that's important.
That's right. They would infringe our copyright.
We wouldn't want to infringe our copyright, would we?
Got to put a lot of effort into getting that copyright sorted, didn't I?
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you got in there, mate?
This time, since you are such a YouTube queen, I thought we might have a look at the internet. Yeah, and I've tentatively titled this episode "The Online Music Lucky Dip," as we go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and there's lots down that rabbit hole.
Oh, that rabbit hole, mate. Twists and turns everywhere you can find.
It's a long, winding.
I thought we'd look at how social media gives us a grab bag of people's memories and of stars, and some who weren't quite so successful or scarcely successful at all. Yeah. Nevertheless, they're remembered by some and they're lionised on social media, whether they deserve it or not. And of course, then there's your side of online, the channels, that got video imagery and interviews and all sorts of unbelievable crap that the people who invented the internet would never have dreamed.
I mean, we make up a lot of shit But there's a lot of other people
What do you mean
making
we, white man?
There's a lot of people on the internet who are self-certified experts on everything, and rock music is but one of them.
And they try and blend them all together, and it's fantastic.
And some people make money out of it too, believe it or not.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, don't hold your breath, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see it.
Not at all. Anyway, Mick, let's move on. I've got a little bit of action for you now, buddy.
Way to go.
Knocking on heaven's door. I feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door.
Our regular dip into the depths of rock people. Not rock people, rock and roll people who are in the industry of some
That's a very creative, that intro is a very creative use of helium balloons.
Thank you. Yeah, I did that myself, just knocked that up in the shed, as you know.
Yeah, well, of course.
Because we're in the shed now. David Sanbourn. Many people may not be familiar with David Sanbourn, but he was a saxophone player, highly regarded session player from basically the 1960s onward, and played with fucking everybody. So James Brown, Phil Woods, Brian Ferry, Jaco Pastorius, Kenny Loggins, David Bowie, Todd Rundgren, Bruce Springsteen, and on and on. Oh, Loudon Rainwhite III, George Benson. So every man and his dog. Rolling Stones. I forgot. Rolling Stones, Ian Hunter, and probably the highlight of his entire career, Toto.
3 songs. 3 songs, 30 years. And what a band.
Great band. Oh, yeah, what a great band. But, yeah, so unfortunately, he passed away at 78. So thank you, David, for all your contribution to the wonderful world of music.
And go with our blessings.
Now, the next artist is probably not left quite the same legacy to modern music as David Sanbourn has, but Colin Gibb, not one of the Gibb brothers per se, but famous, absolutely famous for being in the pop band Black Lace, whose greatest claim to fame was "Agadoo, do, do."
I can't remember the rest of the words, which is quite shocking, really.
And Black Lace represented the UK in the Eurovision Song Contest in 1979, finished 7th. But he was touring for most of his life, and I'm thinking, with what?
Where?
With what? And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Colin Gibb and Black Lace with Agadoo.
Can you do it again, Colin? 3 minutes is not enough for a show.
Back for his second version of Agadoo.
Can you bring it back to the Eurovision Song Contest, mate? Look, we've just had the Olympics.
Yeah.
And they recognise gold,
Yep.
first, silver, second, bronze, third. They
Sure.
don't have a paper medal for 7th.
How'd you go? Did all right. Came 7th. How many you in the race? 7. You didn't come last? Nope. Came 7th.
Yeah, I think that's a rather slim claim to fame, though. First of all, Eurovision Song Contest. Second of all, 7th.
Came 7th. That was good. The other thing I find amusing is Australia is in the Eurovision Song Contest. What the hell are we doing there?
Well, we've got some Europeans here.
Yeah.
We've got TV.
We've got no vision.
That's true. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Who was in there last year? I saw them interviewed. The bloke and a Sheila, anyone.
I can't remember their name, but I can remember that they were awful.
Well, all the songs are awful.
That's true. Yeah, sorry. That's the pass mark to get into Eurovision Song Contest.
That's exactly right. So, there's been some of the worst bands, or the worst songs per se, that have ever been written have won the Eurovision Song Contest because it's got nothing to do with the song.
That's right. Yeah,
it's all the voting bit. That's the important stuff. I got a friend that I know up here in the mountains who went to the Eurovision Song Contest this year, and
not to compete.
No, just to see it, and took the husband, the wife, and their son, who's a bit of a boy genius and knows everything about the Eurovision Song Contest. So wanted to go, so they took him, and then it ended up on television. Because where was it? Was it in Sweden this year? I think something like that.
It's not top of mind.
Ended up on Swedish television, and they had a little competition about the history of the Eurovision Song Contest. So the kid was up against one of their people in there, and he beat them and won a prize pack of some description.
Australia strikes again.
That's right. It's weird. Anyway, so there you go.
Fantastic Eurovision kid.
This is a child that actually knows every flag of every country, the details, under 10. So,
yeah, I've got some experience in that detailed knowledge of one particular subject.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you very much, Colin Gibb, for your contribution to bad music. Edward L. Mann, familiar with Ed's work?
I've always liked Ed's work, always in a support role.
Yeah, Frank Zappa was the thing I've found about him. It said best known for his mallet percussion.
Yeah, he's been on more Frank Zappa albums than Frank Zappa.
That's right. Followed closely by Thomas William Fowler, who was a bass player who played with Frank Zappa.
Well, they're the rhythm section.
That's right.
From Frank Zappa.
So, once Frank Zappa gone, I think they lost their direction, really.
They lost interest, really.
Yeah. So they passed away. Don't know how old they were. They were getting on a bit. And finally, one of the biggies of music in the world, Mr. John Mayall, OBE, passed away in July. Probably the best known and greatest English blues and rock musician, blues realistically, that England's ever produced.
Certainly had a long innings, didn't he?
Yeah. He was in his 80s. He was still playing like right up till very late in his life.
Yeah, very well done.
So he was, and of course he was, Eric Clapton played in there, and the Blues Breakers, and he bloody lived off Eric Clapton for years. Or no, he didn't. It's a terrible thing to say. Okay, Mick, so I think we might move on to 1001 albums you must hear before you die. And in honour of said Mr. Mayall, I've gone to page number 97, which is John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. The album, The Blues Breakers, the album is called Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton from 1966, and produced by Mike Vernon, engineered by Gus Dudgeon.
Dudgeon,
Dudgeon.
He's a blast from the past who did a lot of work with a lot of very famous people.
In particular, Mr. Elton John in his early career.
He did a lot of production and a lot of with Paul Buckmaster, a lot of arrangements. The early Elton John had a lot more orchestral sounds.
Yes,
and thank those guys.
And the album's not a long one; it's only 37 minutes. Chart success in Australia there wasn't any, but So the album John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. Any thoughts on it, Mick?
Very Clapton. It's lucky you got equal billing because John didn't get as much of a run as Clapton did.
Because basically, people may disagree, but really, the whole album is a fall for Eric Clapton to do some amazing solos. Well,
John Mayall adopted that role of being almost a nursery for an entire generation of British musicians. You look at who he's got and had in his band. This particular band. I know you were telling me yesterday. You're just frothing on about. In addition to Clapton, he's got John McVie,
yes,
on bass, who went on to another, not quite as successful band called Fleetwood Mac.
I don't remember them per se.
Yeah, but a bit of blues, I think. They played.
Well, that's right. And John McVie, of course, once into Fleetwood Mac, was in fact quite a blues band to start with, weren't they, with Peter Green?
Yeah. And Mick Fleetwood started out as a blues drummer instead of just a Stevie Nicks accompanist. Yeah.
So the whole album, I was listening to it yesterday and thinking, my God, while it's bluesy, the solos are very cream-like. Really, there's some.
You reckon?
It's just there's some amazing stuff. But I remember years ago I had the 4-part or 3-part video series of Dancing in the Streets, which was a British
fantastic documentary.
But they were interviewing John Mayall, and he was talking about Eric Clapton. John Mayall said something along the lines of, Yes, Eric was quite good, but I think he actually needed to stay in the band a little bit longer. He needed to sort of, refine his skills a little bit more. Mate, you wouldn't have had that album if you hadn't have been there.
Yeah, but I think he could be right, because Clapton came out of the box pretty good, but he kept developing and kept becoming a better guitarist all the time. So Mayall's probably seen something early that a lot of people didn't see until almost retrospective in Clapton's career.
Possibly, yeah. And whether or not he was able to look at that retrospectively later when he was being interviewed, or whether he thought about it then, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows?
But look, just one interesting thought on old Gus Dudgeon, who we're talking about.
Struggling with his name, aren't you?
Well, it's Dudg, Dudge.
Yeah.
Dudgeon. Anyway.
Yeah.
Producer, he did Space Oddity, yeah, and then, of course, as we know, Madman Across the Water, Honky Shadow, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. He also came back and did Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, not one of Elton's most famous, good albums.
Yeah.
And then he was the engineer, obviously, on the John Mayall album. But interestingly, had a lot of credits to his name. But unfortunately, on July the 21st, 2002, he and his wife Sheila died when their Jag veered off the M4 between Reading and Maidenhead. The inquest recorded a verdict of accidental death, noting that he was heavily intoxicated and had possibly fallen asleep at the wheel driving, and was doing so at excessive speed. And he and his wife both suffered severe head injuries, were trapped in the car, which had landed into a drain, a storm drain, and they suggest that they may have in fact drowned.
If something can go wrong, it will.
It all went wrong. And that's why I've always had the view that never trust a Jaguar, They,
now, if they'd been in a Volvo, they might have been alive today.
Be alive today. And, the self-driving part of Jags has never worked particularly well. I mean, Elon's had enough trouble getting the Tesla going. The Jags never got it going.
Well, he's just fitted a Tesla to a rocket. Now he's going to rescue all of those NASA astronauts.
That's right. Which is funny. Like the golden era of Boeing has certainly moved on, hasn't it?
Mm.
It's
funny that I mean, not an expert in these things, but Boeing used to be a byword in safety. If you're on a Boeing, you're on a 747 or whatever, you'd know. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm going to get up in the air, 7 miles up, and come down again, and safely.
And still, there's many pilots today who still like the whole the Boeing jets, because they still had a lot more required a lot more input from the pilot than the Airbus, which was a lot more automated. But now I'm thinking, if you're a pilot, please don't put me in one of those new Boeings, if you don't mind. I'd rather just go to the old 747. I think that'll be safer.
Yeah, true enough. Listen, before you move off John Mayall, I thought one thing that people don't talk about, and we haven't talked about a lot, is that the difference between both drawing on the same source material, but the way British musicians treated the blues versus the way Americans did and do treat the blues. Yeah, the Stones were obviously a key early player in that they had a link with an importer, and they used to import all the chess stuff. Right, and lots of other things.
That's right.
With Jagger and Richards and Brian Jones being very, very keen blues enthusiasts, and some of their early singles, were blues, just straight blues songs that they just did. So some of their live shows would have been something interesting to see. But it's almost British blues is picked up a lot more of the Chicago. With that sort of swing, whereas American blues and other blues streams, that more of that southern, Louisiana, Mississippi blues,
bit dirtier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was going to say muddy, so that's exactly the same thing. Yeah. So when you say the blues, it's like saying, "Oh yeah, I like music.
I don't like jazz."
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right.
Which bit?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I don't like blues. Well, who do you like? And you name almost any artist, and at some point they're going to have some blues influence. But Mayall, Clapton, Page, all of those great guitarists. They've picked up that British take on blues, and it's very, very different to the way it's been interpreted in the US, and that shows later on as we go through the various decades of people playing lead guitar and some of the heavy duty rhythm sections that they've got in US and English bands, and there's a world of difference, and this is really illustrative of that. And you said it sounds a lot like Cream. Well, Cream's a direct flow on of that British interpretation of blues and the way they picked it all up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a very good point, actually. But nonetheless, that's the other thing that's quite different is there's not a lot of Jaguars in the US because they're British.
Yeah.
So they would have been. So if Gus had been in the US, he would have crashed a Corvette
or Lincoln.
Yeah, Lincoln Continental.
Yeah.
But I don't think they go at speed though.
Well, they can go at speed. They just don't stop. Which was the problem with Gus.
Yeah.
He stopped. That was the problem.
That's exactly right, which he shouldn't have done.
Yep.
Never mind. So, yes. Anyway, Vale, Mr. Mayall.
Mayall, like it.
Or is it Vale?
I think it's Vale, but I've since our last discussion on that sometime last year, I've not been able to find a definitive answer on that. I like Vale because it sounds...
Yes, because you're a wanker.
I wouldn't have put it that way.
Oh, well, okay. No, fair enough. No, we probably should go the more the definitive term, complete wanker, I think.
That's the English term. Yeah.
Now, before we lose sight of the Olympics, I think we just need to revisit one little thing that did stick out. I mean, I was very excited, so to speak. I was very excited to watch some of the Olympics. I didn't watch that much of it, but it sort of drags you in, and you get sort of the opening ceremony with all the, oh my God, it's evil, the Last Supper, what are they doing? Oh. And I sort of was thinking, they do know it's a painting, don't they? It's not like a photo. There's a great meme going around with an old bloke with a beard standing next to the painting of Mona Lisa, and it said, photograph of Mona Lisa and actually it's supposed to be the real Mona Lisa. Photograph of Mona Lisa and Leonardo da Vinci taken by Keith Richards. Anyway, but did you see the French pole vaulter Anthony Ammirati going over the pole, the whatever it's called,
or not? Didn't
quite make it because what let him down was his massive schlong, which hit the bar and brought it down on top of him. Oh, and he made he was world famous for his penis.
That's fantastic. It's a whole new dimension to the term making a dick of yourself, doesn't it?
And as we were talking about just recently, here's a guy that's trained for years and years and years to be a pole vaulter, to be so good to get into the Olympics, and to finally only be recognised for his dick, not for his pole vaulting. But because of it, he got offered $250,000 from a porn site to show the schlong in real life.
I think it's important that athletes should be able to leverage their years of training and their athletic ability into some real money. Well,
you do often see athletes who, like back in the day, used to do nude calendars and stuff like that to raise money to get to, events and things like that. I think the female rowers or female something or other.
Oh, yeah.
I think he can make a couple of bob on the side just showing the slong.
He could do 3 months.
Yeah. That's right. So anyway, I don't know whether he's taken it up, but I hope he does.
It's only fair.
Yeah, I hope he does. Anyway, it's mildly amusing. But do you remember they were talking about? You may not, but I was listening to someone being interviewed about the Sydney Olympics, and they were talking about the amount of condoms that were used in the athletes' village at the Sydney Olympics. And I assume it's similar, but a lot of the athletes aren't in the village for very long. But when you're there, you may as well shag someone who's in the prime of their life.
Absolutely.
So there's all these beautiful people who are fit as fit can be, and they shag like rabbits while they're in the village.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
I've seen interviews, or not seen interviews, read interviews and so on about Olympics past and present, and it's the same thing. It's you get young people together, unsupervised, and guess what happens?
Yeah. And I'm thinking after that, he would have been a prime candidate in the village if he was in the village to people be lining up out the door.
Poor bastard wouldn't have got any sleep.
Sign above the room, pole vaulter.
Please take a number and wait.
Pole vaulter here.
For those who haven't got podcast vision, it's Jeffrey with his finger out pointing downwards.
I'm pointing. I don't know why I'm pointing. Anyway, so the poor bloke, I feel sorry for him. And look, it's been quite a while, and we haven't done a lot of Trump news. But I did find this one little comment just the other day where Trumpy was talking about the amount of immigrants coming to the country because they're taken over the place.
Virtually 100% of the net job creation in the last year has gone to migrants. You know that? Most of the job creation has gone to migrants. In fact, I've heard that substantially more than beyond the number of 100%. It's a much higher number than that.
So he's got into a bit of new math, and he started out there was 100% gone to migrants, the new jobs gone to migrants. Then virtually all of the new jobs have gone to migrants, but then realised that it's more than 100% of the jobs have gone to migrants.
He's a man certainly with a unmatched creative grasp of numbers.
Oh no, it's fantastic. Yeah, and the other thing is too, he's got some more NFT cards out. So
got him.
He's got one with himself dancing. You know, he does the dance with the fists. So you can get that. And he was advertising. He said you could get the card with me dancing. So that was pretty exciting. They're only $99 each. There's 70. I think there's only 50 of them. But if you buy 75, so you have to double up. But that would be all right because you'd be like they're an investment.
Give some to your family.
They're an investment.
Yeah.
If you buy 75, you can get dinner with Donnie.
Excellent.
How good would that be?
He'd expect you to pay too.
Dinner with Donnie for a fee. Yeah, so I think we should get 75 each, and so we could go to Mar-a-Lago or wherever he's going to have dinner and have dinner with Donnie, have a bit of a chat, talk about, prisons.
Yeah. Mar-a-Lago or McDonald's?
Oh, actually, it probably would be a McDonald's. He'd hire he'd do like a party thing. We'd have a clown and stuff like that, and they'd bring junior burgers out.
Another one.
Bring junior burgers out.
Excellent.
And you used to get an ice cream cake, I think, from memory, didn't you? I think you did.
Yeah, you get something like that,
Yeah, so... But look, and the other thing is, you know how we bought all those Truth Social shares? I think we paid $16 for them. Well, and they got up to like $50 a share, and you said, I think we should sell them. And I said, no, this is a long-term investment, Mick. We don't want to just sell them off. Well, they're back down to $16, so we've done well. In fact, I think at the moment we're about 6 cents ahead of where we were per share.
Maybe we could trade some for those new NFTs because I think they're a growth item.
Yeah. Or the other one was, you know how he bought the line of shoes out, the basketball shoes, the gold ones.
Yeah.
He's updated those because when he got shot in the ear, he's updated them. It's got Never Surrender on the side. So if you probably want a pair of those as well. Yeah. So I think if we get the cards, I think we should just get some more shares, seeing the debt back down again.
Oh, what? Yeah, let's double up. Yeah.
Let's get some more. And anyway, see how we go. However, Nick, we might put shit on Donnie every now and again just for a bit of fun. But there's a new kid in town. There's a new kid on the block that he's been there for a long time. And he's kind of been we haven't really kept that much of a note on him. But JFK Jr. has come bursting out of the blocks with some amazing shit.
Yeah.
Earlier on the year, they found he had a worm in his brain, which was eating his brain.
And was doing all of his talking for him.
But then, do you remember Roseanne Barr, the comedian?
Yeah.
And she's a bit of a Trump fiend. She's a Trump nut. So she really is a bit of a strange one. And he was at, I don't know what he was doing at Roseanne Barr's house, but he was there and he's telling her a story. And for whatever reason, it's on video. I don't know why it's on. I don't know. And he's telling the story about when he was upstate New York. Now, the whole thing is just weird. So he says, he was with a couple of mates upstate New York falconing.
Yeah, it's the falconing capital of the North American continent.
Woman in front of him, driving along, hits a bear, a small bear. She drives off. He gets out, sees the bear's in very good condition, thinks, I should pick the bear up and move it. Makes sense. Into the back of my car so that I can skin it and put the meat in the freezer later to eat it.
It's making less sense the further you get to the end of the sentence.
Anyway, so he's got I think it was actually like a small sort of truck type thing. So he's got the baby bear in the truck, goes back down New York. Something happens. He never gets around to actually skinning the bear or getting the meat for, to put in the fridge. And it sits there for a couple of days and he realises, I probably should get rid of the bear. So he's with a few boys, a few of the fellas. They're having a few beers, but he's not drinking. He's not drinking.
Of course not, no.
The other people are drinking.
Yeah.
And they reckon, and he reckons too, let's go and put the bear in Central Park. Because what has happened over recent times when this happened, a lot of people were getting hit by push bikes, people riding their push bikes around and people were getting knocked over. So they decided to put the bear in Central Park and a bicycle beside the bear to pretend that the bicycle hit the bear and killed the bear in the park. Is it making sense now?
I'm afraid to say yes or no because neither answer is acceptable.
And there was a story. So if you can go back and if you go look around, there is actually a story about this bear being found in Central Park. And JFK Jr. put the bear in Central Park.
Wow.
Now, at this point, he's still a presidential candidate. But then he's decided to drop out and say, Trump's the dude. We need to get Trump in. So he drops out. Then, lo and behold, another story emerges. This is just the other day. Another story emerges, and I've got to play this one.
Another bizarre story involving former presidential candidate RFK Jr., and this one involves a whale. Kennedy faces new backlash. The longtime conservationist allegedly sawed the head off a dead whale. Kennedy reportedly cut off the whale's head and then bungee corded it to the roof of the family minivan to bring it back to his New York home so he could study the skull.
Study the skull.
If only he had the bear there as well. He could study both, couldn't he? He could say, look at this. Get the kids in. Kids, have a look at this.
Bungee cord to the top of his car.
He's fucking wacko. And his kids, one of his kids was talking about this and was describing how there was whale juice coming in through the window of the car as they were driving along.
Oh, no. It's no wonder that the rest of the Kennedy family issued a formal release disavowing any knowledge of RFK and that he's not a part of the family anymore.
That's right. Yeah.
What a Fruit Loop.
So we look forward to maybe seeing a few more of these sorts of things occurring in the not too distant future.
I'd like to see him make a gift of some Native American wildlife to JD. And JD's first question would be, did it have children?
Yeah. Has this animal reached its full potential by being able to use its uterus?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's good, isn't he?
He is.
He does a bit of eyeliner. Have you seen that? It's true. He's got eyeliner on.
Oh, wow.
Why have you got eyeliner on? I don't know. But it's to basically highlight his eyes a bit. Because if you look at him a few years ago, he didn't have the beard, he didn't have the eyeliner. But now he's got the beard, he looks more presidential sort of thing. But he's weird. He can't talk to people properly. He went into a donut shop and was buying donuts. And he's standing there, he's going, hello. And they're filming, because they'd like to film the candidates. Hello, I'm JD Vance. I'm a vice presidential nominee. And they're going, yeah, right. We might get some donuts. Okay. And they say, and he goes, he says to one of the girls, how long have you worked here? She said, 2 weeks. It might have been 4 weeks, whatever. Oh, no. And then you sort of say, oh, this is a great American business. And how long's the shop been here? 2 years. It's just,
they know how to pick him, don't they?
oh, he's just so awkward. Anyway, so we must move on.
We must. It's almost becoming boring talking about the US election and the US political scene.
But they keep raising
crazy stuff.
They keep raising the bar, though, don't they?
Lowering the bar. Unbelievable.
Our elections are so dull by comparison. Really so dull.
Aren't they? Yeah.
We're going to have Dutton and Albanese. Dull as dull.
Oh, dear, absolutely. Yeah. It's like 2 unknown US senators arguing about nothing at all.
That's right. That's right. You look to Pauline Hanson to provide some humour.
Finally, we found a value.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, let's move on, Mick. Give us a bit of a rundown on what we're talking about today, buddy.
Mate, I thought the internet is everywhere. The world runs on the internet. And so today I thought we'd have a bit of a grab bag of different stuff, all circling around the internet, around the intersection of rock music and the internet. Now, when we were young, we used to declare our allegiance to bands and artists, putting stickers on our Globite school bags.
Indeed, we did.
Did, yeah. Or writing on the bag with thick felt pens. And the hard case, gave a good basis for writing.
And you remember you used to get your school books. You used to have your own little notebook for each subject and stuff like. You used to decorate them up as well.
Absolutely. Well, that was far more interesting than listening to the classes.
I don't know what I learnt. I don't think I learnt anything.
No.
People
have speculated that, Jeffrey. How rude. Look, and as we grew, and got a little bit of money from our paper rounds and selling programs at the football,
yes,
we started to build record collections, which became a physical declaration of our fandom to certain bands and artists. Now, people declare their fandom by posting something on one of the social media channels about how great Dolly Parton is, or Engelbert Humperdinck, or Tom Jones, or even sort of lesser people like the Rolling Stones, maybe that sort of thing.
Yeah. No, I'm not familiar with them, but Engelbert I've always had a soft spot for.
He's always been a favourite of mine, more so than that other interloper Tom Jones. Yeah.
Oh.
Think about a dance now. Play things like Facebook, Instagram, Quora, TikTok, Reddit, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
We'll talk about YouTube later on as well, because you are the YouTube queen of Australia.
I've dug in and found a few little things that people might find interesting, which we'll put in the show notes just for your interest and out of enjoyment.
Exactly. Well, so it's peripherally part of that whole social media, internet type of thing. But social media itself seems to have and encourage more of a conversation, inverted commas, a conversation.
Sort of, sometimes.
Sort of, yes. So in my feed, I'm constantly getting information about bands from my favourite eras. And my wife pointed out to me that may be because I look up stuff about bands from my favourite eras. So my phone is complicit in spying on me.
Absolutely. Anything you touch in Facebook, it goes, oh, interested in that.
Yeah.
You've just got to, in our house, you've just got to look for, I was looking at a awning, I think, getting a new awning out the backyard.
Yep.
And the next week, I just had nothing but awnings coming into my Facebook feed.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah.
So many awnings. I don't know what to... I still get them. I get cabanas, I get awnings, I get all sorts of stuff.
Well, you've still got a little bit of your backyard that is not completely covered up with studios and work sheds and stuff.
Yeah.
So just that bit down there?
I'm going to get a cabana.
Well, I would hope so. An open one so we can sit there in summer and maybe even do a live to air broadcast.
In fact, I'm going to get a pizza oven so we can make pizza. We can do a pizza podcast.
That'd be nice. Yeah. So, can you sort of produce a pizza with the face of Jesus on it or something?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. And then you could put that. You could start to combine your interests. Put it on YouTube.
His teeth would be pineapple pieces.
Of course. Goes without saying.
Because the teeth would have been a bit yellow back in those days, so the pineapple would look good.
So it'd be like the shroud of Blackheath.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's true.
Absolutely.
Because we are closer to God here, because we're sitting 1,000 metres, so we are definitely closer to God.
Yeah.
A lot of religious people in the mountains.
Well, I can understand that, and they would be. You look around, and you blah 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 blah.
Bit hippie-like sometimes.
Bit hippie-like, yeah. For a long time, as you well know, I resisted the temptation of putting anything onto social media in case anybody found out that I'd put anything onto social media. But lately, I've given in to the temptation of commenting.
Nice. Very happy for you.
Yes, indeed. Look, posting things to see what comments I get back.
Your testicles looked funny, though. I don't know why you put them up there. But
It was the wrong photo.
Like people talk about the Beatles, and you put your scrotum there. I thought, Jesus.
I meant to put a photo of Ringo Starr up, but...
Oh, not your anal star.
Thank you. Look, these sites and streams, look, they allow us to keep tabs on who and who's doing stuff and what they're doing, and whether they're still alive or whether they've been able to clear the bar in the Olympics, that sort of thing. It was never possible before. Look, there's lots of AC/DC news and comments and photos, and doesn't Angus look old? Angus looks like a very old pensioner in a child's costume.
With a really tall wife.
Yeah.
You see him walking down the street, like he comes up to a belly button.
Well, good luck to him. He's probably a very nice fellow. I mean, I don't know him personally, and I'm not ridiculing him because we're all looking old. We're all looking pretty sad.
I guess the thing with him, he never actually started out tall, so he hasn't really got that small.
That's right. He hasn't shrunk away. I'm not suggesting that at all. And poor old Angry Anderson. I saw a photo of him the other day. Angry from Rose Tattoo, who was named Angry for good reason.
What was he? It was his birthday, wasn't it? He was
77.
77.
Oh, that's frightening. Surprisingly, on my feed, a lot about Nick Cave.
Who'd
have thought it?
Who'd have thunk it?
Who'd have thought it? But and pleasingly for me, not much on Cold Chisel or Jimmy Barnes.
That's no good. I'll make sure we'll change that.
No, I'm not unhappy about that at all.
Because Jimmy was very, very busy during the lockdown. Him and his missus used to churn out songs all the time.
It's another thing to blame COVID for.
And he had his daughter with him as well and stuff like that.
Personally, good on you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
But do I have to listen to it?
Well, he's a nice bloke.
Well, so people say.
He is. Well,
I know you know him well.
Oh, I go down there all the time to see how he's going. He knocks up a pasta because he does a bit of cooking with the missus. The missus taught him how to cook during COVID as well. He taught her how to play guitar. She taught him how to cook.
That's a fair trade.
Yeah.
That's a fair trade.
Yeah.
And they can earn some money and cook some food.
That's it. Happy days.
Look, lately, maybe it's been happening all the time and I've only sort of become more aware of it lately. Many of the comments on social media are lame as. Very, very basic. Some people have a lot of difficulty in working out what the section they're looking at is actually about. And they have difficulty tying what they're going to post to what the site is all about. Now, you would think that a site that's called Australian Bands from the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s would contain information only about Australian bands from the ...
You would assume that, yeah?
Yeah. Now, look, just based on what I've seen recently, does Cream fit into that category? I'm asking for a friend.
Only if you got scones with it.
That's right. How about Diana Ross or Jigsaw? Now, last I heard, they weren't Australian.
No.
Diana Ross isn't even English.
Is she alive?
I don't know.
I don't know that.
Was she before?
I don't know. Wasn't she good friends with Michael Jackson?
She was, yes. Yeah. She was his mentor.
She got a monkey?
She got one. He left it to her.
She's got it.
He left bubbles to her. Yeah. Look, these sites, they all live in a world of nostalgia. And I'm not criticising that because we do too. 80 episodes of this podcast, chock-a-block, every single one of them full of nostalgia.
That's it, baby.
There's not one fact that was born after the year 2000.
No. Well, if it is. But the thing is, though, if we do talk about it, we're usually wrong when it comes to that sort of time period, after 2000.
Oh, who's heard of these young whippersnappers? Yeah. Unless it's a box set of Neil Young doing 17 new albums or something. Yeah.
Don't you just yearn to own that?
Since you spoke about it last time, I have not been able to get that out of my mind, and I'm saving for it. I don't know if I'll ever have the time to play it, but
I don't even know where you buy it now. You have to go. You probably get it
You'd
online.
have to go online. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I think JB still sells CDs, but I don't know if they have.
And once once you bought it online, you'd spread them all out, take a photo of it, and post and wait for the comments of envy and joy to come flooding back in.
With all those new songs, how many new songs were there? There were like 24 new songs out of the 187 songs.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah. And they weren't really new. They were just ones that he hadn't put on an album yet. Yeah,
well, you remember we talked about it before, he had so much music that he had recorded and hadn't catalogued. He was actually employing someone to catalogue his music for him.
Thursday.
That's what it was. Thursday afternoon.
Yeah. Well, at least you can be precise. It's all good.
So he's probably got another 17 CDs to be done.
Oh, easily, yeah. I hope he lives that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to.
I hope they don't get on Spotify. Because I think he's back on Spotify now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he wanted the money
Well, who wouldn't?
to catalogue his old music.
Well, he'd be up for a fortune in paying cataloguers.
That's right.
Look, but yeah, whilst we're having a bit of a laugh about it, some of the things that post really do spark some memories of our youth and the bands that we used to see when we were youth. When we were youths.
When we were
Youths.
young.
When we were young.
Yeah.
Young youths.
Younger.
Yeah. Look, I saw one the other day that was a picture of the cover of My Sex's first album called Graffiti Crimes.
Yeah, great album.
It's a great album, yeah. And the photo on the cover is the lead guitar. There was a whole article associated with this this picture, and I thought it was great. The photo on the cover, it's a police red light, and it's ostensibly a policeman writing in his notebook, and he's got a prostitute up against the wall.
Yep.
However you care to interpret that.
Yeah.
And the lead guitarist Kevin Stanton he was the copper, but he only saw his hands, so it could have been anybody.
And the writing on the wall says Graffiti Crimes, doesn't it? Isn't there? Is it on the wall, or is it?
No, there is graffiti on the wall, but the labelling of the album is elsewhere.
Oh, is it?
Cover, yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we just listened to it. So, so much associated with early My Sex, who, along with the Angels, were our formative bands. Yeah, they were great bands, and we went and saw them recently in the last couple of years, and it just wasn't the same. Just wasn't the same at all. But anyway, computer games. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, My Sex, I like that song, Computer Games." Wasn't even on their first album, and Kevin Stanton wrote it and brought it along to the recording for their second album, Space Race. And EMI's in-house producer Peter Dawkins, he said, "Why didn't you bring this out early?" And he said, "I couldn't, I only just wrote it."
They did when they re-released the Graffiti Crimes. They put it on there.
Oh, they did put on a re-release.
The second pressing went on.
Okay, I didn't know that because we bought the album day of release, as you do.
Yeah. So My Sex is the graffiti on the wall on the front cover.
Yeah.
So not long. I don't know how long the first pressing went for, but the second pressing had the song on it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, that happens sometimes. It happened it happens with bands, particularly on the first couple of albums when they've had one or two singles, which were isolated incidents, and they try and bring the single onto the album to boost secondary sales of the album.
Or you like putting something like My Sharon on any subsequent album that you ever made as the knack.
Well, it's your only song.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did an acoustic version, a reggae version, a rock version, and an orchestral version.
Yeah,
they were all really, really good. Look, I remember the time, the week that the first My Sex album was released. See, and these posts often bring back the memories of the fun things you did when you were young and carefree. Double J Radio, which became Triple J and lost their way, they had a program called Live at the Wireless, where they bring in bands and they perform live in their studio. They had a studio called Studio 441, I think it was called.
Yeah, right.
And about 100 people they could fit in there, so it was a fair-sized studio, and they'd bring in bands to play their latest stuff, and it gave you a live treatment of how it was. We didn't know anything about My Sex, other than we'd just heard them on the radio, and thought, okay, let's go and give them a look. I went in with an old friend of ours, Mitch.
Yep.
And we went to see the show. We only knew the single, But You Don't Care. They were awesome, absolutely spectacular. So we came out of the show buzzing about how great they were, and we went home on my motorbike, the old Honda 750.
Oh yeah.
And a bus pulled out in front of us, And me being a fabulous motorbike rider, managed to evade that and not collect it on the side.
Yep.
But Mitch wasn't happy about that. So when we stopped at the next set of lights, Mitch punched the bus.
Gee, that would have damaged that would have hurt the bus, wouldn't it? Not his hand.
He showed him. You were saying that in your research of Spotify numbers, you found some interesting stuff.
Yeah, because I was looking because when I saw the album there, I was thinking, I'll just go on Spotify. And so, Computer Games, which was their most streamed song, which was 4.7 million streams, followed by Blue Day, which is 3.1 million streams. But if you remember, just recently we had our friend Panama, the muso Panama, on the show, and just one of his songs called "Feel This Way" has had 37 million streams.
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
And then we look at bands like or Stones or something like that; they'll have like 100 million streams, or multiple 100 millions of streams, hundreds of millions of streams of their songs. So it is a very interesting scenario that you think, you beauty, we've got 4.7 million streams, nice work. Not going to make you much money, unfortunately.
Well, that's exactly right. And but the 10 times the difference, some bloke from the mountains.
Yeah, sitting in a garage.
Exactly right. It's a new definition of the term garage band, isn't it?
Now, listen, I did find an amazing version of Computer Games too, which I'll play for you, which I think you'll love.
Numbers, they say, 'cause the figures never lie. No perfect person's ever noticed one computer.
The Kranksky sisters.
Oh dear, they are a hoot.
So I don't know whether you know when the Triple J Top 100 comes out over in January.
Yeah.
There's this guy who's I don't know his name, but he has this Twitter feed called Australian Kitsch. He puts out the kitschiest 100. And this was one of those kitschiest 100. So he finds all these, some of these old weird songs and puts them out, and they'll be, it could be something like Sadie the Cleaning Lady or something like that.
I think the Kransky sisters should do Sadie the Cleaning Lady. That'd be a hit.
They did a whole bunch of stuff over the years.
Only you would find all that crap.
Yeah, that's my job.
You think I should put that in the show notes?
Yeah. If you can find it. I don't know that you'll find it, though. That's the thing.
What, the link?
Oh, no, the link you can find. Sorry. No, I'm just thinking.
Sadie the Cleaning Lady.
Yeah, Sadie the Cleaning Lady doing.
I might just put the original Johnny Farnham version on there.
The best one.
Yeah.
The best one.
Yes.
You're the Voice and Sadie.
That's a double A side single.
Would
just
be.
there.
Yeah, right
Fantastic.
there.
Fantastic.
The EP. I want the extended play.
Yeah. Now, what about Split Ends? You were an early adopter of Split Ends. You were a big fan of their early stuff.
Saw them a few times.
Yeah.
Saw them when they were still doing all the dress up with the uniforms and stuff like that, with Noel Crombie with the hair and the fucking hair and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so
and that's right. And Tim Finn before he became respectable.
Yeah. Well, when they were a bit of fun, and before they had Tim's brother in there, where he just turned the whole band into a Crowded House Light.
Exactly right. But their first album was called Mental Notes, and that was a cracker of an album.
Yeah.
Really loved it because it fitted in with everything that I loved about early Australian rock, edgy, angular, which means the songs often took a direction you didn't expect them to. There was no mainstreaming with early Split Ends.
No, it was very very different, I think is the right word for it.
Absolutely. So Phil Manzanera from Roxy Music comes out. Here's Mental Notes and says, "I'd like to produce you guys." In an English accent, of course. So he ended up re-recording, fundamentally, Mental Notes. Released an album, Second Thoughts. And that's what this post was, a picture of Second Thoughts, saying, what a great album. And so I posted, all right, that's a good album, because you started with good stuff, but have a listen to Mental Notes, the one before it, which this is a copy of. And Yeah, I got a flood of people saying absolutely, mental notes is much better than second thoughts. Yeah. So we're not alone in thinking these things, and that was really nice. Particularly, Stranger Than Fiction. I know that's a favourite of yours as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's really, really very good. Unusual, edgy as buggery, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun. If you like Split Ends, you liked early Nick Cave, you liked early My Sex, The Angels, all the stuff that you had to go out live to see.
I don't think it has a lot of. I don't think I was playing Strange in the Fiction to Jarrah the other day, and he was not impressed.
Is that right?
Nope.
Oh, no. He's very smooth with his stuff, though.
Yeah.
You'd never call him angular.
No. Anyway, I was thinking, okay.
Wow.
Sorry.
Well, look, if everyone liked everything, we'd have to find something else to like.
That's right.
Because we don't want to be mainstream.
No, certainly not. Move on.
Then there's sites that focus on one artist or band. Look, I'm a member of one that you might be surprised that focuses on Husker Du and Bob Mould. Such intense fans. They make us look like blancmange. Absolutely. Talking about who wrote particular bits on particular songs on early albums, that sold 50 copies, that sort of thing.
What is blancmange?
It's a French sort of creamy
fluffy
cake,
thing.
isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Who knows?
Certainly something that the Monty Python people consider to be not really worth acknowledging.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so there's lots of stuff there, and there's tour and show reports of what they're doing these days. And that's where I first heard about Bob Mould's tour of Australia in November of this year. Folks, if you haven't got tickets, probably out of luck, but that's another story. So I find that, and there's streams for pretty much any band you can think of. I mean, Johnny Farnham's got one.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and that's important. So anything you can think of on one of the social media platforms, you'll be able to find like-minded people posting stuff. Now, what I did find about Husker Du is that Tim Walz, the vice presidential candidate with Kamala Harris for the president of the US, he's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's a fan of Husker Du.
Is that right?
Is that right? I mean, about time we got some rock and roll. Bill Clinton liked a bit of jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and in fact, I saw him the other day. He was at the fair in Minnesota.
Who, Bill or Tim Walz?
Tim.
Oh, yes, yeah.
He was having a pork chop on a stick.
Way to go. Yeah,
pork chop on a stick. And he said, I know the ones in Iowa, the pork chops on a stick in Iowa are quite good, but they're nothing compared to these ones.
Ooh, he's a controversial bloke, isn't he?
Controversial.
Ooh,
comparing pork chops.
He's not going to sit on the fence on anything, this bloke.
Comparing pork chops between state fairs.
I want to see him get up and start talking about Husker Du. As Bob Mould said in Divide and Conquer.
That'd be great.
It would be. So, pork chop on a stick, Husker Du, it's a great presidential race.
Even, did you see Kamala coming out from a record shop and she had 3 records under her arms and the press were going, what records have you got? And so she had she's more into jazz, but she was pulling these records out. I got this one and this one, very jazzy sort of records. So she's got a bit of class and style as well.
Oh, and that's important. Yeah, we've had people who wouldn't know good music if it got up and bit them, unless they could make $1 out of it.
That's right.
Or who want to steal good music to play at their rallies.
Well, have you seen?
I wasn't going to mention any names here.
Did you see? So there's been Twisted Sister has told Trump, no, don't play my music. Bruce Springsteen has been told him, don't play my music. There was another one just the other day.
Sam Cooke,
and another one. Who did I hear the other one the other day? Another one. Can't remember who it was, but one that did get up. Played at his rally was the theme from the Titanic. Well,
let's hope that's prediction.
I think, why would you play that? Anyway,
yeah. Look, I found another post the other week about the Angels.
Oh, yeah.
And you might recall, for those of you who didn't see the Angels, or you're too young to have seen the Angels, or if you did see the Angels, you know that one of Doc's stock-in-trades was climbing up on the PA.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Now, in a pub where it's only got a 3 or 4 metre ceiling, that's not very much. Yeah, but he still did it.
And lie on the PA.
That's right. He sort of lied on the top and sang a little bit, which was hard, because he couldn't get the lung expansion. Anyway, but when he played live shows, there's no ceiling. And he used to climb
outdoor type shows.
Outdoor shows.
Yeah.
Well, everything was live,
Yeah.
of course. And this posting was about in a venue called Selena's. Now, I don't know if you remember Selena's, Jeffrey, but Selena's was the band venue in the Coogee Bay Hotel. Coogee is a beachside suburb in Sydney. Sticky floors, overcrowding.
Yeah.
Between songs, the sound of the idiots at the back talking over whoever the band was, and it didn't really matter who it was. Very annoying. And plastic glass.
Do you remember the plastic glasses that like they were like they looked like a proper schooner glass, but they were plastic, and you're supposed to take them back and they would wash them and refill them, but they used to. So many people used to pop them on the ground and they'd smash and sort of shatter everywhere, but they weren't. It wasn't glass; it was just plastic.
Yeah. So they picked plastic because it was a lot more difficult to slash someone's face with a plastic glass than a glass.
That's right. That's the truth of the matter.
Yeah. So I commented that I'd seen Doc do one better when he supported the Angels back in the 70s at the showground.
He was the Angels.
When he supported Bowie.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So, and Bowie had a big PA stack.
Sure.
So Doc climbed up.
Oh,
right,
did he?
Right at the top. It was a real mountaineering effort. And he's singing a song called Mr. Damage. And it was just fantastic. But everyone's going, whoa, look at this bloke climbing up. He didn't jump down from the top. Because, that would have been a real ankle breaker. But he came down halfway and then jumped back onto the stage for the wah-ha bit.
It's funny how big the speaker stacks used to be back in those days. Like they were like 30 or 40 metres wide by 20 odd metres high, and now they're like a tenth of that. They're just so small by comparison.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think in one of our upcoming episodes we're going to talk about digital sound, and digital sound is a lot louder and a lot cleaner. A lot louder for the effort that you put into producing it. A lot cleaner. Makes drums sound, unfortunately, not real for my money, but that's another story. But yeah, it's a lot cheaper. I mean, just your single bass amp when you used to play.
Oh, I had a great bass amp.
It was great, but it was bloody huge. It took two of us to bring it in.
Two 12-inch quad boxes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Loved it.
And it completely you had to sort of be very nimble to get into bed because it lived in your room.
It did.
That's right. And so it was two-thirds bass bin.
It was a
1/3 bed.
It was like a Marshall copy, which I got from in round Paddington Way. It was called the Fender Soundhouse. That's the name of the shop, and it was a Baez brand. So it was a valve amp, and the brand was Baez. But I have no idea where they.
I mean, valve anything's. Just double the size.
Yeah. You got to flick it on and let it warm up and all that sort of shit.
Like the old radios and TVs, mate.
Back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back in the day, yeah.
Another issue that keeps cropping up is the cost of tours. Now, they're blaming. I read a complete stream that had hundreds of input comments blaming Taylor Swift for the demise of live shows in Sydney.
Is that right?
I thought that's a bit of a reach.
What, she just
because
sucked
she sucked all the money out of the economy, yeah. I thought,
possible.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But it depends on the venue, doesn't it? You know, like the people who are going to go and see Taylor Swift are probably not going to go to the pub, the Bridge Hotel, and see something there. Different clientele.
You'd think not. Yeah, if they're going to Taylor Swift, they're very clean, got nice, good clothes.
They're young.
Young, yeah.
In many cases, too young to even get into the Bridge Hotel.
That's very, very true. Yes.
Do you remember they had, I don't know how many, but outside of the venue, there was like 50, 60, 70,000 people outside the venue while the concert was going on.
Is this Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Wow.
Just standing there. And they were singing, they could hear the music from the other side and they were singing the songs on the outside.
Oh, isn't that nice? It's dedicated. What do they call them? Little Swifties.
I don't know. Idiots.
Yeah. Look, there's other things on social media in line with bringing in your favourite nostalgic memory. Things like Captain Matchbox Whoopee Band.
Oh yeah.
Again, for our overseas listeners,
yeah.
This is a uniquely Australian band.
Yeah.
Look them up on YouTube, and Jeff will tell you how to do that in a minute. It was led by a guy by the name of Mick Conway, along with his brother, whose name I've momentarily forgotten. They were more of a combination of jug band and circus music, but they played jazz and jazz influenced stuff, and
had tin whistles and jugs, and
it was all very weird.
Galactic schlagophones, all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff, didn't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And they had songs like My Wahine in Wangaratta.
My Bohemian way, Wangaratta.
An ode to a waitress in a roadside diner. Yeah, look, I suspect that many a herbal cigarette was consumed in producing their stuff.
They were a fun band, though, weren't they?
They were, yeah. Look, yeah, his brother, his name was Jim, who played harmonica, kazoo, and vocals.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Can't go wrong with a kazoo. My Canary has circles under his eyes.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
And their album was called Smoke Dreams. Man. And another one you've completely forgotten about, Australia.
What, Australia?
Australia, 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 I love you, yes I do. Australia, 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 what a hug and kiss you do.
I don't remember.
Please don't write in with complaints about my singing.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it's hilarious, yeah.
It is good. It is good.
And again, for our overseas artists who are still listening after that little dreadful singing interlude, look, I'm sure that many of you in your own countries have got bands that take elements of your national culture and do it in a funny way, but it doesn't translate. It doesn't travel. And most countries have got things like that. So, look, if you've got something like that, why don't you find something about it, find a recording, find a YouTube, whatever of it, send it in to us, and we'll have a bit of a talk about it. I expect that you'll, Mr. Frankfurt, I expect you've got plenty of stuff that's hilarious.
Some umpapa music.
Umpapa, can't go wrong with that, can you? So send us a link with something that fits that description, and we'll have a bit of a listen to it. Because we've got, I mean, I really get, as I keep saying, I really can't believe where people are finding out about us and listening to us.
Yeah.
You know, from the most extraordinary countries, there's the US and obvious things. UK, North and South, so two different language groups. Yeah.
North and South UK, yeah.
Yeah, the UK.
Like Scotland.
Oh, and Scotland too. Yeah. Yeah,
Shetland.
Hey. Yeah. And you'll recall that when we spoke about the Alex Harvey band, I had a travelogue of the UK. Listen to that episode.
Yeah.
So send us stuff. So we'd love to hear it. So other lesser lights in bands, a thing called Tamam Shud.
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, early 70s hippie music, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
The Dynamic Hypnotics, Jazzy Soul Band. They were really quite interesting. They had a big single called A Soul Kind of Feeling, which had a wonderful sax lead in.
Yeah,
They just played for a while.
Yeah.
Never made the headlights.
We saw them a bit later in life.
We did, yeah.
At pub in... I don't know where we saw them.
Annandale?
Somewhere like Annandale.
Yeah. That
the Liberty Hotel, something like that, wasn't it? No.
The one on the corner.
Yeah, I know. The one on the corner. Which one? Oh, the one on the corner. Oh, the one on the corner. Yeah, right.
The one on, you know that.
Yeah.
Other social media stuff we've come across, because I know you can't wait to jump in to tell everyone about YouTube. Quora is a largely American social media site, which really wastes a lot of time talking about the election and the difference between Democrats, boo, hiss, and Republicans, boo, hiss. It's the same thing. Nobody seems to do anything terribly creative. They both accuse each other of being idiots and demon lovers and child killers. Both sides, exactly the same people, I think.
I think you find anonymity leads to stupidity.
Well, that's a very good use of idioties, isn't it?
It is indeed.
But occasionally someone posts something about music. And that's where we found out, you might recall, quite some time back we talked about, and I'm sorry, mate, I'm going to mispronounce your name again, Maurice McCartain. And we had a bit of a discussion about how to pronounce his name. And even my Irish friend said, well, I don't know. But he is very, very well informed on a variety of bands and artists, even Australians. We quoted him on the Go-Betweens, you might recall.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah, and Reddit again seems a bit of a know-it-all troll site to me. And we quoted Reddit during the Nick Cave solo episode, where we talked about experts telling us how terrible Nick Cave was and. Yeah, and you find that a lot on Reddit of uninformed opinions. I hate ... This person ... has no talent. Yeah. So I think I'm not interested.
No, they're just shit. I mean, it's so subjective what we talk about. It's it's people's views about it when they're just bullshit. Doesn't really make any difference to the world.
That's right. And look, anything that we say, I think we're quite upfront by saying it's our opinion,
Yeah,
and it's based on our upbringing and stuff that we like and stuff that we love. And you may not like it, and that's fine. If you've got a good reason why you don't like something, tell us, contact us for any reason at all. We don't mind if you're going to tell us that episode was crap because it talked about this person who you think is crap, but tell us why, not just tell us that person is crap, because that's rubbish. We'll just delete it.
That's right. We're not interested.
Yep.
That's right.
Mate,
So,
tell us about YouTube.
well, there's heaps of stuff on YouTube, but if you go to a few music sites, you will tweak the algorithm, and it will start sending you recommendations of other movie sites as other music sites. So I mean that's the way all these things work. That people sort of think it's AI, but it's not. It's just an algorithm at this stage. There's no real intelligence to it particularly. But there's one I love, which is the Amoeba record store. And they just do. We've talked about it before, but they do this one called "What's in My Bag," and they just get musos to come in and choose half a dozen records, and then talk about them. And there'll be often records like, I had this record when I was young, or it was the first record I bought, this really was a strong influence on us and stuff like that. And a lot of the time it's sort of lesser known artists and stuff like that. So it's really quite good to follow. Then there's a heap of them on there with from Amoeba. So yeah, it's I think it's the largest record store left in the world, which actually sells records.
Wow.
So yeah.
You might recall that you found us a link to an interview with Bob Mould on our Husker Du episode.
Yeah, he had
where he talked about what he'd been brought up with.
Yeah. So it's exactly that. So that's really good. Another guy is Professor of Rock. Have a look for him. We'll put the links in the show notes for this. But he's good. He's very, very knowledgeable of stuff, and he'll talk about he often talks about really small things like why did this song cause such a controversy or something like that. So it's quite interesting, and stuff you wouldn't normally know about. So he does a lot of research into that. Rick Beato is a muso, producer, and YouTuber, and he gets some great. He does a lot of stuff like he'll do the top 10 guitar intros of all time, or the top 5 piano intros, or the most complex guitar solos. But then he also do interviews with people, and the one that was just on quite recently was he did an interview with Alan Parsons.
Of course.
And it's great because Alan Parsons started, he's been around for a while, but he was the engineer on Abbey Road and Let It Be. And he actually is visible in the rooftop concert of Let It Be. He's actually there, but he's got some of the original drawings, the plans of the studio for for those 2 albums. So he's actually got drums here, mic, this type of mic, and there's this great interview. It goes for a good hour with him and with Rick Beato and Alan Parsons about his career, but there's a lot of stuff about those early recordings. Well, so later, as far as the Beatles are concerned, but his early work with the Beatles and the work as an engineer and what sort of mics he was using. If you're right into the technical side of stuff, there's some really interesting stuff there. Rick also did a good one of the top 250 Rolling Stone guitarists. He panned that list as well, like we did. So Rick is quite good, and as I say, he's had Stuart Copeland there and lots of other stuff. So does really quite interesting podcast if you're into music.
I've seen some of his stuff, mate, and I think you're spot on. He really does know his stuff, and he doesn't drone on and on and on. He's not boring. He goes sharp, makes his points, and moves on.
Yeah, no, he's quite good. Another one, if you're interested in a bit of social community and stuff like that, is Playing for Change, where basically they put together a song from musos from around the world, which I find interesting. Mick thinks it's shit. I think it's interesting. So we'll put the link in the show notes. But there's a good version of When the Levee Breaks with, sort of people playing drums from the Congo and all sorts of stuff like that.
I think you probably should say there's a version of When the Levee Breaks. I don't know if you'd want to go with good.
No, it's good. Just is. Just saying. I'll put a link in the show notes. You can decide. It's good. Another guy, The Needle Drop. another guy just who reviews music and stuff like that. And if you're into record lists, there's a YouTube one called Top 5 Records, and that's there'll be lists of the top 5, this type of genre, this type of music, this band, this, that, blah, blah, blah. We'll just put the link. That's just a couple of them. But if you go to those sites, you will then get a link to a whole bunch of other music sites in YouTube, because the algorithms is going to kick in and start feeding you up other music sites as well. So, yeah, there's always, and you can, as you do with any of these social media places, down the rabbit hole well and truly. You can be lost for days.
Well, I must say, you do find some interesting stuff, Jeff.
Oh yeah. Once you can find a bit of Trump or a little bit of JFK Jr., you know you're happy. You're in happy land.
Well, bring it back to music, and you got all this stuff that you got. I went looking on Spotify and Apple for a song called "Billy the Mountain" by Frank Zappa.
What a song!
It's an awesome. It's a song that had its genesis on one of their very early albums, and it became. They did a tour, and so the song's half an hour long.
Yeah. I think the original recorded version goes for one side.
Yes, and as does the live version. Yeah, it's whether it's been deleted or whether Spotify and Apple have decided that in the interests of good taste they don't want to play it.
No, it's there. I found it there.
You found it, did you?
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah,
well,
it's in Apple. I know that.
So if you can find it there in Apple or Spotify, have a listen to it. It's hilarious. But if not, we're going to put a link to
one of them
to the YouTube link for it.
I can find off. There's a YouTube version. There's also, I'm pretty sure Spotify, but there's Apple's got the original recorded, remastered, and a couple of live versions as well.
Yeah, and the live version on the album, obviously, it's a bit better quality. It's they did a bit of tweaking of the sound levels and things like that. But nonetheless, it's this absurd story about a mountain on the West Coast that. Finally, Billy the Mountain. Yeah, he receives a royalty check for all the postcards that he's posed for over all of those years, and so he decides to take his lovely wife Ethel on a vacation to New York. And Ethel's a tree growing on off Billy's shoulder.
Ethel's tree growing off of his shoulder.
Look, it's a wonderful whimsical story. Really, you're never going to take this seriously, but it's a great example of musical pastiche. They really take the piss out of pretty much anything that was cultural in the 70s. And there's a top grade band, Ainsley Dunbar, which you had amongst your list of people who played with
David Sanbourn.
Blues Breakers. Yeah,
Blues Breakers.
John Mayall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Ainsley Dunbar is a drummer. So he hangs out with musicians of all types, and he's played with lots and lots of bands. He played with Bowie on Pin-Ups, which I know you love.
I love Pin-Ups.
and Diamond Dogs,
Yep.
and he's played with lots of bands, and so the drumming fills on this are of a really high quality, and there's the vocals are all done by Flo and Eddie, which is a name for Howard Kalin and Mark Volman, who are also known as the Turtles.
I know.
Yeah. So
Flo
the beautiful vocals, but hilarious as well. Yeah, through the song, which takes around half an hour, a great many musical styles. They take on Neil Sedaka, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Crosby's Stash, bootleg records, Vietnam, all sorts of things. And just the description of Billy and Ethel, it's hilarious all by itself. So when Ethel gets angry, some old birds fly off her. So whenever she's mentioned, there's the little motif that we did earlier. Hadi hadi hada, hadi 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 hada. And Billy, there's a song about Billy in there, but it's like a mini opera, where they use the same music all the way through with different lyrics talking about different people. So, Billy had 2 big caves for eyes and a cliff for a jaw that would go up and down, and whenever it did, he'd cough up some dust and hack up a boulder. Hack up a boulder. Yeah.
Oh God, I'd forgotten about that song.
Oh, You'd like it. There's even some sweary bits in there.
Yeah, no,
which is totally appropriate for you. It's all in the show notes. You can't go through your life without hearing it at least once. Have a listen to it. You will kill yourself laughing. It's really, really funny.
Great thing to finish with. Thanks, Mick. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next time. Well, that's a wrap, and thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free. And if you like this, tell your friends about us. Also, contact us at mickandthefatman@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks very much. See you next time.